Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Father, forgive us. Can you have mercy? Please have mercy on us. Please have mercy on us. We repent of our sins, won't do it again. Deliver us from this evil, chosen people. Please have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. We repent of our sin, won't do it again. Deliver us from this evil, chosen people. Yeah, please, yeah. Forgive us, fight for us, forgive us. Chosen people.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mercy Seat. I am your host, YuNiYAH, and I am more than honored to have you here with me on this evening. Well, for the next few weeks, the starting of my show, I'm going to always open up of giving 15 minutes of fame to each one of the individuals that has a show on the Female Solutions Network. And so, again, I'm excited. I want you all to be able to sit back and relax. And this person that I'm going to bring on first is actually the producer, the number one, the numero uno, number one. And that is our very own YuNiYAH Latif, the one that makes it all happen, the one that's backstage, the one that is bringing everything forth. So if nothing else, y'all are welcoming Miss YuNiYAH Latif. Welcome, sweetheart. How are you?
I am fabulous and so grateful to be here with you on Mercy Seat with YuNiYAH.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. So as you know, we do 15 minutes of fame, right? Of being able to talk about who you are, talk about your show, what goes on in your show, and your times, so that when people are tuning in to the Female Solution, which you are the creator of, yes, first of all, just thank you, honey, for allowing us and many others to be able to be a part of this. So please tell the audience who you are, the name of your show, and when you come on.
Well, of course, I come on every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. We currently now have 18 hosts. I'm so grateful for our growth since 2012. I launched the show in 2012, and it came as a result of a book that I wrote entitled The Female Solution, in which my desire was to help women understand the power that we have in shaping the culture, raising the children, defining the values. And when we do our job well, then we produce a well-run society. So that was my initial desire. And in writing the book, I began to be a guest on a lot of different shows, a lot of different radio shows, TV shows, and so forth. Mm-hmm. And became a regular on a radio station in St. Louis. And I was on every week, and we had a regular series. And then somebody said, you should have your own show. So that's when I launched it with a couple of associates that decided, we're going to just engage in conversation first we started out once a week. And then it increased to once a day. First it was once a week, half hour. Then it was once a day. And then once a day from half hour, it increased to an hour, and then increased to 2 hours. And then next thing I know, I was doing the show every day. And for 2 years, did the show. And at first it was just an audio platform with Blog Talk Radio that was an audio podcast platform. And then I went out of town. I went out of the country to visit my daughter for a couple of weeks, and I didn't want to just let the show drop. So I had two of my regular callers fill in for me as hosts, and I was listening to the show. I was overseas in Korea, and I really loved I loved how they handled the show, because they would call in and they just had such wisdom. And I said, wow, this is really a great show. I really like it better with other people on it. So that's what started me bringing another host. And next thing you know, we had a whole week's worth of shows, a lot of different women that I'd worked with in various areas and had on as guests. And so we ended up with 7 days a week programming. And then things expanded on the internet, where you could include a visual element, with your YouTube channel. And then came a program like StreamYard. You could do your podcast from and include your Facebook and your YouTube channel, and people could see you and all of that. So we expanded to that. And so now it's a visual you can see and hear, and we're broadcasting on multiple channels. And so we ended up increasing from 7 days a week and Saturdays and Sundays. And now it's twice a day on Monday to Friday. And it just expands and expands and expands. So I just keep meeting these fantastic people. And what I look for is people who have a purpose in their heart. They already have the drive. They already have a message. The God has already given them a mission. And they just need a place to express it. And so that's what we've become. And that's why I'm so grateful to all of those who have a fire in their heart, and they just need to get it out. So that's okay. Every day. And you can go to thefemalesolution.com and see our wonderful team of hosts. And all of us are just doing such dynamic work and changing lives. We've got educators, we've got spiritual leaders, we've got people who are in
everything,
reporting, healthcare, just everything, all the areas of life that make a difference. And so all I can say is tune in every day of the week, 7 a.m. in the morning, Monday through Friday, and 7 p.m. in the evening. That's Central Time. So wherever you are, you can adjust your time. If it's East Coast time, West Coast time, overseas, we've got hosts from all over. Sister that joins us every month. Sister has been lived in Ghana and just all of the international. So it's an international broadcast.
Amazing.
From China, from Japan, from Nigeria, from Ghana, and just all over the world. London, just the world. So the whole idea is that we are one world.
Yes.
We're one family. And when we can talk directly to each other, we don't have to fear each other. And this is how we end war and crime and violence, because we are one. This is what our Creator tells us all the time. And so when we, the women who give birth to the world, we give birth to the future, when we put out this message and we reach out with love and compassion to each other, we transform lives. And that's what our mission is. And that's what we do every day of the week.
Just listening to you, Naima, that is like exciting. It just goes to show you that if you put your mind to something and you just work at it, how it can just develop. And me listening to that is like so phenomenal. But to talk about your book is how the show actually started. Yeah. So if you can, let's take a quick break. I want to come back, and then I want to spend 5 minutes because I want you to tell us about how why you decided to write the book, and tell us a little bit more about your book. Is that great?
I will do that.
Well, yes. Right. So we'll be right back. And when we come back, Naima is going to give us a little bit about her book, and the book led to the show. So we'll be
Yes.
right back after these messages. Don't go nowhere.
All
Stay
right.
tuned.
We're
All
going to
right.
see our global family watching
Yes.
around the world.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Well, welcome back again. I am your host here at Mercy Seat, and my name is YuNiYAH E. And as you all know, I have the wonderful producer, Miss Naima Latif. Well, Dr. Naima Latif. So when we went to break, I wanted to talk about your book because from my understanding, and if I'm incorrect, correct me, the female solution came from that. So what was your reasonings for writing the female solution?
The book evolved out of my experience in teaching teaching school, both elementary and high school. I was a substitute at the Betty Shabazz International Charter Schools, and they had a wonderful program of helping children to see themselves as family, and it's a beautiful atmosphere. But also the reality of our children, they are experiencing the consequences of a very dysfunctional society. And like anyone else, like everywhere else, children experience the pain of broken homes, of families that are in conflict. And when they have distress, they bring that to school with them. And what I was observing is that among the young people, there's so much pain in their hearts because of the brokenness that they're experiencing in a society and everything else. And I realized that a lot of our children are struggling with being raised in single parent, female headed households, and it has an impact. And my feeling was that if women understood how to make better choices, then they would be able to get the kind of men that could help them in this child rearing process. Now, at the same time, I was writing a children's series on with animal stories, animal families and so forth, written from the animal child's perspective. And my husband, who was at the time, he was reading, both of my books. I was talking about, women and learning their bodies and health and blah, blah, blah. And then with the animals, they had all the different animal adventures. And he said, well, why don't you combine the animal stories with the book, The Female Solution? And I thought that's a brilliant idea, because in every species, the female is the one who determines who is worthy of reproducing. She sets the standard. So in every chapter, I had a story about how the females again would select mates, select the mates, and how they would raise their children. And and in one story, I demonstrated how with the uh with the lioness, how she would demonstrate to her children how to go about and get their food, how she picked a young uh fawn and show them how to grab it by the neck and stuff like that. And then she let it go and let them practice. And
Wow.
they didn't quite get it, but that was okay. She kept showing them so they would know how to do it. And I was pointing out what a mother does is teach her children by example. And then I
Mm.
pointed out how in the buffalo herd, how the females would the strongest one is the one who would get to be the mate of the females, and the buffalo had to basically battle to show he was the strongest because he was the one that had to protect everybody. So I'm saying,
Wow.
if women could understand that there are principles that females of every species follow when it comes to selecting mates, then we would select the kind of mates that can help us raise these children in households. So if we're choosing the strongest mates physically, if they're choosing the strongest mates physically, then we need to know how to choose the strongest mates spiritually, because that's what determines what a good spouse is. Get a man who is strong in his spiritual connection to the creator, and that is what will build strong families. So that was the basis of the book. And before I go, I'll just pull it up
Yeah,
real
pull
quick
it
so
up
you
because
can see
I'm gonna be honest
on
with you,
the website.
and I know I was supposed to be doing something different. And look, guys, in regards to the female solution, look, get this book, read it, because now, Naima, I'm getting ready to do a shift. I got to do a shift right now, and what I was going to talk about is I'm going to end up maybe doing the next show. And the reason why is because this right here is so amazing. And let me tell you why. When we think about it, the animals was here before we were, right? So in
Mm.
everything that they did and their mating, then it shifted over, and here we are. Now we are producing. But something that was so very key in regards to having that solution for the females is how to make the righteous choices. So when you went and you talked about um nowadays, because many of us have made some horrible mistakes and bad choices in our lives, right? And
Mm.
we became connected with other individuals that was not healthy for us, right? So you're in this relationship, and you remember back in the day, right, when they would say, you be in the girls' bathroom and you say, this person and that person forever, right? And if not that
Mhm.
same day, the next day, they done broke up. You know,
Mm.
so I really want to talk about that just a little bit more. And so I want to shift your 15 minutes of fame to us being able to kind of talk about the female solution, if that's okay with you, because I
I'm
find
always
that interesting.
open
Is that
questions.
all right? All right. Because that is
Absolutely.
important. And what happens nowadays is our young women do not know how to be selected or to be able to know what to agree with. And especially if we go from into a spiritual perspective. Now we know back in the day, which kind of fade away because it goes into what you said. It's more females in the households, and the fathers are not in the households. So mothers aren't really, you know, making it very, very clear or setting a presence of this young man is not good for you, or teaching them how to carry themselves to be ready for someone for them, right? Because that's really the father's job and his responsibility.
That's
So
it.
in the day, if we think about it, right, in the beginning, the
Mhm.
father selected the woman for Adam, right? He selected the woman for Adam. Not only that, he had everything in place. He had a place for her to stay. He had food. He had everything in order, right? And so this is how it moved. And then as it went on, now there were times where fathers would choose, you know, who will be the best for their daughters, right? Because you want to get to a place, or a father is at that place where he says, I need to be able to select someone with the wisdom. I need to be able to select someone who knows what to do and how to do it, because he was trained up to do that. And I want to go a little bit more in depth when you talked about the animals and how that was done. That is just so deep to me. And I think you were talking about the lioness and how she was selecting her mate of who she was going to have her children with, because you know that old adage, be careful of who you had children with, right? Absolutely. So you're wondering why certain things is going on. And it's like your choice there. So I want to go back to the lion part, because that's so deep. And if you can just kind of like give the ins and out and the nuggets of that was just deep right there.
Well, I really loved watching nature shows because they taught me so much, you know, because they would show you animal life as it is. And I love animals that have a family structure, because you can see how the dynamic works. And with lions, basically you got to be the strongest lion and win the right to mate with the female. And you know, hey, in nature, it's about the battle. Look, I got the biggest fangs, I got the strongest muscle, because I got to protect my family. So I got to show that I have the power to do that.
And you know what?
Hyenas, I got to protect them from, you know, other predators. I got to protect my spouse when she's pregnant. So I got to have strength. So you don't get to mate if you didn't win the fight with another male. You got to show that you have power and heart.
Yes.
So if you take that example and put it in a spiritual sense, a man who is spiritually strong enough to master himself to protect you from the emotional harm and the psychological harm of society, if he has the spiritual power and strength and he is showing himself superior above others, that's the one that deserves to have you. And so,
you know what?
Everywhere in nature, females always pick the one who shows that they are deserving. You don't just mate with any old body. He's got to show that he is worthy of you.
You know, that is the fact. Isn't that amazing? Because as you had the protector, the provider, you understand all of those. It just show you how awesome the father is, because everything that a man is supposed to be, isn't that amazing how he started? And so when you think about the lion, you know, the king, you know, he's the king. He's the, you know, when you talk about muscles, and it's so amazing, because many of us, right, you want that buff guy, you want, you know, but everything else about him is like really truly off. But you want somebody that knows how to come in and make it happen.
Make it happen. Now, I'll tell you another animal that I loved watching. Example, birds. Now, with the sparrows, what a male sparrow has to be able to do is build a good, strong nest. And
you know what? Before you go into that, Naima, let me say this real fast before you even go into that. When you first shared that with me, that was a very unique. That was so unique. And I just really had to say that before you go into that. Now, for everybody that is tuning in, going to tune in and see this later, I really need you to listen to what she is about to say in regards to a bird.
Yes. So
go ahead, Naima, and share that part with us.
The male sparrow, when he's built a nest, because he wants to attract the female, he'll build his nest and he'll, you know, call to her, chirp to her, sing to her, say, come on, look at mine. So now this female sparrow, I watched as she she was being called to by 3 different males who had built a nest in the tree, and she had to go and examine each nest. So the first one she went to, and she looked around and she kind of bounced down a little bit, and she could see it wasn't quite secured well on the branch.
Okay.
And she knew that her eggs, a nest full of eggs, could fall to the ground because it wasn't secure. So she so she went to the next bird. He's chirping, "Come on, look at mine and check mine out." So she goes and she goes inside. She looks around, but the hole was too big. Because see, if the opening is too big, then a predator can come in and get her and her eggs. So she's like, "No, it's not quite right." So the third bird, he's calling to her, "Come on, look at mine." So she goes and examines his, and she goes in a little narrow opening. It's like, okay, this is a nice small opening, small enough to protect my family. Another predator can't get in, and he had really secured it tight on the branch and everything. Kind of see it was still secure, and he'd even put a little piece of cotton in there, make it nice and soft. And he was like, "Oh, okay, this is nice." She's like, "Yeah, I'm staying." So she had chose her mate based on him showing that he had the skills to prepare for his family. He built the right kind of nest. So why are we choosing people ain't got no house for us to live in? Why are we doing that? I mean, a man who's
secure one anyway.
Family, he's preparing for a family.
Wow.
This is the kind of wisdom that the animal kingdom, females of every species know, look, I got to make the right choice. My children's future depends on my judgment. And if I mess up, if I get somebody that won't work, doesn't have any skills, won't get himself mentally, physically, and spiritually ready to go out and face the world for me, why am I letting him produce children
with me
that he can't take care of and can't protect? I'm putting their life in jeopardy. So it's my job to select the right male. My job. Our survival depends on me doing my job. And every female of every species on the planet knows this. How come we don't know this?
And it's really important, because as the word says, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor with the Most High. And when I think about that, so that means when someone is getting ready to select you, right? And this is very, very important because, many times we are struck by the beauty, girl, he is fine, and sometimes we could be trapped in because maybe he do have money, maybe he do have a place, maybe he does have other things that is in place. But where is his mental? And that goes back to, how do you handle things? How would you be my protector? How would you be my provider? Once we have children, how would you deal with these? What is your mindset? And it works on both ends, right? It works on both ends because a man just don't want to select any kind of woman. You have to be careful even with the woman that you select. But here it is. We are not taking the right comfortable steps. And that's the reason why there's toxic homes, children who are being raised without a mom. And you do have some fathers that do, raise children alone. But it's amazing. If the animals can do it, why can't we do it? At this point in time, Naeem, we're going to go to break, to our commercial break, and then we're going to be right back. So please sit back. Don't go nowhere. We're going to finish this up very important. And I have some other questions that I'd like to ask. So we'll be right back. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all for stepping on.
We appreciate y'all. Yeah.
And we will be right
back.
Just stay with us.
housing for the homeless. Because my little brother, in which we're doing this documentary for, Douglas Robinson, your death will not be in vain.
He was a heck of a great dude. And I love Doug. Doug loved me.
Just being around him, he had a good spirit. He was a healing person.
They are there.
Get SROs back.
When you give to the poor,
should not be forced out of their neighborhoods when it goes through a period of transformation.
Because there are too many people who are losing their homes to taxes because they can't pay a $1,000 tax bill.
Hello and welcome back. This is Mercy Seat. I am your host, YuNiYAH E, and I have a wonderful guest that actually was supposed to came in and did 15 minutes of fame, but started talking about the female solution and some other things, and we just went on. My wonderful guest for today, Dr. Naima Latif, and as she has shared, she has her show on Wednesday, 7 a.m., correct?
Yes.
You can catch her every Wednesday at 7 a.m. here on The Female Solution. And there's some great things that you can hear here. And so please make sure you go to thefemalesolution.com. You can see all of the hosts that have their shows, the days and the times. And please share in very good information that is shared here at the Female Solution. And I'm just excited. I'm so grateful and honored to have been chosen and given this opportunity to be able to have a show here at the Female Solution Network. So this is a beautiful thing, but I want to get back to our conversation, right? So I what I do in the beginning part is I give what is called 15 minutes of fame, right? Where all of the hosts here at the Female Solution, I want them to come on and share what it is that they do on their shows, right? Because we're sharing this and we're a network.
Yeah.
And so Naima came on today and just changed my whole show.
Still on my 15 minutes, y'all. And you know, and Zelda, she was one of the first ones with us as we grew and expanded to our visual platform. And she said, wow, we never knew we were pioneers like the days of radio by utilizing Blog Talk. Who knew? Congratulations. Yeah, we started out, we were 2 hours a day. And we finally, you know, and I realized, okay, this is kind of exhausting to expect people. But, you know, people will listen to radio all day long. But
Right.
now the visual image, you know, it's we can get a lot more done and said in that hour of time. And I don't want to exhaust our host, so we shorten it to an hour, but that's a power-packed hour, and we get a chance to share so much. 18 hosts now have joined
Wow.
the solution, and we are continually changing the world. So I'm excited about that, and it all came from the drive to awaken women to our power. And you know, you mentioned about, you know, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Well, you know, that man can find us, but we have to verify if he is right for us. We have
Yes.
to do our job in making sure he has prepared himself for us, because there's going to be a whole lot of men that want to find us and choose us. But we make the final selection. We make the final choice.
That's right. That's right.
Standards. He's got to meet the standards.
And you know what, Naima, one of the things is because right before we went to break, I wanted to make this statement was a lot of times we allow this man to be found, to find us, and sometimes we may hunt them down, but we come into the relationship more so, again, like I was saying beforehand, how fine he is, what he has, but we don't ask the ultimate questions. Or we it's like we meet, we feel like we vibe, and then the next thing you know, we in the bed. Next thing you know, we got a baby. Next thing you know, he moving in with you 9 out of 10 times. Majority of the time, a man is moving in with the woman, right? And then you all got all of this going on. And now, as his child is developing, you all are arguing and fussing and using profanity. You all over the place. This one's cheating, that one is cheating. So a whole lot of stuff start going on because the right stuff isn't done in the beginning. And I don't think anything was as sharp as when you said about a bird. When you talked about that bird and how she goes in to say, wait a minute, is this going to be stable enough for my children?
Yeah.
Is this going to be equipped enough?
And protected, and the foundation strong enough, and I'm safe from outsiders. You got to have a plan in your mind. For me, if you want me to be your mate, you have to have planned it and got yourself prepared so that I know you are worthy of me. Otherwise, you're going to jeopardize our whole family and our future if you have not prepared.
Whoa. So because what do we want?
Oh, he's cute. Well, has he thought about how am I going to educate my children? What kind of household environment am I going to create? How am I going to teach my sons and daughters? Have I prepared myself with knowledge that I can teach them something? If I know that, I can't teach anything. So we're not asking the right questions. We're not looking at the right standards. And if this is our job as a female, the one that makes sure that our progeny, our children are going to be well taken care of, then when we make these selections and people act up, well, it's on us because we didn't see it. We weren't looking at the right place.
That's so true. That is so true. And it's really, really heartfelt because then we have to think about those choices where you have 2, 3 baby daddies. When you have to think about you in this marriage, then you in another marriage. You understand? We don't think about how our children are being affected because why? We did not get that stability. We didn't make sure the I's was dotted and the T's was crossed, right? So I always tell parents, they say, well, I didn't know about this, I didn't know that, because nothing came, they didn't come with a book. They didn't come with instructions. The book came before any of us, right? So it's an alignment of what we should do and how we should do it. The question is, why aren't we studying to know how to do it, right? And so, again, as we say, that conversation that we're having should be conversations of, if we were to get together, if we were to decide to get married, what is it that how they say, what are you bringing to the table?
What are you bringing to the table?
What you bringing to the table? We need to know that.
Yes, somebody's agreeing with you. And I studied also zebras. Now, zebra father is very protective of his daughter. So when these young zebras come sniffing around and everything, and she's being very seductive because she wants a mate. But if that young stallion, if he don't have his stuff together, the father will chase him off like, no, you ain't ready for my daughter. And I'm like, what is father supposed to do? You don't let just any man hang around your child, your daughter. If he's not up to par, get out of here. No,
you gotta go.
You got to.
I don't care how you feel. He ain't come. No.
Yes.
Because if nothing else, a man knows another man.
A man knows another man. A man
just like a woman knows another woman.
That's right. So when you see this young buck, he's irresponsible, wild, just want to make because he's got his hormones going. But you're not ready for my daughter.
You ain't ready. No. You ain't ready. You're not ready. I know we have some comments. Naima, could you share some of the comments that's coming up?
Well, we've got Eric Lazar says the woman has to bring a plan too. It's a collective relationship. Absolutely. You know, one of
Absolutely.
the best things that I saw was the partnership in the wolf pack. And when wolves mate for life, that lets you know something about longevity. They mate for life. And when that male and female wolf, they organize and they get ready to go on the hunt, and they are organized when it comes to how they bring down whatever, the buffalo, whatever they hunting, but they all work as a team.
Wow.
And when she's pregnant, he brings back food to her, and she can feed her pups in safety and all of that. And it's a game plan, and they always work together as a team. So that's what we got to know is teamwork. If you're working days and I'm working nights, whatever it is, we always taking care of the children.
Got to work together. That's
you
right.
Never leave your children unprotected. And that's what I saw in a wolf pack. I'm like, okay, so if they know this, why don't we know this?
Why don't we know this?
And
I think that we want to know it.
They take turns watching the children. So you might have other of the wolves in the wolf pack. You know, they'll rotate and take turns watching the cubs while maybe the head wolf and male and female go out and hunt, but somebody's always watching them children.
Wow.
So why aren't our families doing this? So now let's see what else we got here. We have, and he said, we men make mistakes spreading our seeds out of lust. Yes, you know. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, Koofy. And it says that do that work ahead of time. What's the plan? Ask the hard questions to vet him. That's what we must do. And he said the foreign men are scooping up our mistakes. Well, you know, every culture has things that happen. And we know that here in America, we have been misled about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I have been in other cultures where they're much more involved in the planning of their children's future, making sure they vet those young men who want to marry into the family. You know, what kind of work do you do? What kind of education do you have? Where you plan to live? What's your game plan? You know, you don't come in here and want to date my daughter and you don't have no plan other than how can I get in her drawers? No.
None of that. None of that.
So when we make selections or we verify someone is worthy of being with us, we have to look beyond just tomorrow. We have to look at the future. What is it going to look like? How are we going to have that partnership, that cohesive plan of action so that our children are safe? That's the number one thing.
Yes.
Are our children safe? If the only thing a man has been taught is how do I figure out how to seduce her so that I can experience a sexual encounter, that is not a man that you select, because that is a man who is looking for a future. He's looking for a moment. And we have had too many women that have been satisfied with a moment. And so this is why our communities look the way they look. Too many absent fathers. That's what distressed me. That's what motivated me to write The Female Solution, because I saw that we were not making good choices based on a future. We were not making good choices based on our role as the female of the species and making sure we survive as a species. And you know, that's what every female has to do.
Yes, but we also, as females, right? We can't want to seduce. We don't want to put ourselves out there, right? Because we have mothers who teach their daughters how to be that gold digger, how to shake what your mama gave you, how to go out there and have this man for rent and that man for the lights and this man. So we have an overall, and everybody is responsible. Everybody is responsible for what takes place. And it is very important to have a man and a woman in the household, because you both need to participate in raising your children. It's not just the woman's job. It's not just the man's job. is both of our responsibility. Why? Because I want to pour into my daughter what a virtuous, what a mature, what a woman of wisdom looks like. Whereas her father is going to pour into her what a man looks like, because we are the first examples. We're what they see. We're their first love, right? And so as time goes on, then we're raising productive young women. We're raising productive young men, and we're sending out, because I got to go to what you said about the wolf pack. The wolf pack shows till death do you part. Wolf pack showed unity. Wolf pack showed the community.
Extended family.
Wolfpack said, hey, we in this thing for the long haul together.
Yes.
Yes. That's just dynamic. You know, so when we are, because when we think about the animals and how they were created and they're doing what they're doing, we do have to look at ourselves.
Yeah. Why ain't we doing what we supposed to be doing? I mean, it's
what's really going on.
It's so basic, especially when you look at what is the overall goal. Okay, you find a mate and procreate. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, okay, the female, the woman, the young lady, she got her seductive thing together. And after you seduce, then what? I mean, if you have not understood what was your purpose of having this intimate union, then you don't understand what it means to be a woman.
Right, because what are we doing?
Your purpose. What are you doing?
Right, because we don't want to be righteous about what we do. We don't want to be holy about what we do. We just want to be to that point, whereas, hey, I got you, you do what I do, because you have most women that wants to be the head. You know what I'm saying? They want to take over. They want it to be to that point, or they selfish. Because why? I don't know how to be a woman. And I find it very, very important that you start teaching them when they're young. Because a lot of people want to wait until they get older, when they're already set in their ways. We have to think about this too. We have society raising our children. We have society showing our girls how to be naked. We have the society showing our girls how to pop that neck and get the doing, and the attitude and the dysfunction. But we then have to go into the households. So if the foundation is shaky, anything that is coming up and being built on it is going to be shaky. It's going to be messy, right? So I don't want to be a diva. I want to be virtuous. I want to be holy. So when my husband sees me, he sees someone he can trust in. He sees someone that he knows is going to do him well all the days of his life. It's just going to make me look good, right? That's what we want to do. But that's not what we get. I'm not able to see the comments, but do we have any more, Naima?
And that's the thing. The things that you're saying are things that have to be taught, and they're taught by example.
Yes.
If you have a house and there's only one parent, you don't know what partnership looks like. You don't know what mutual respect looks like. You don't know what being able to resolve issues where there are differences of opinion. You don't know what it looks like if you have not seen it in your house. So you don't know what a family looks like, because one person can't show you what a partnership looks like. You have to see it, see how it functions.
That's right.
The best way to teach is by example. And Eric says, Cookie says, I'm so celibate to correct my mistakes. I'm ready now to create a righteous relationship. Now, and sometimes we make the incorrect decisions, and that's how we learn that was an incorrect decision.
Right. But that's the beauty of it, when you learn.
Yeah, I mean, you want to learn either way. You can learn the good way, which you learn because you get wise counsel, or you learn the hard way by making a mistake. You come out of life with some wisdom. So he said, humans are lustful and focused on personal pleasure. Animals are unlike us. Well, another thing that I saw, which and I watched penguins. That was another bird, They are very organized in their mating because they know that, you know, the seasons change. They have the systematic way where once the egg is you know, the female lays the egg, the males, they all together, they will watch that egg and hold that egg. The females, they go out to sea and they eat and everything, and then they come back and then they watch the egg, and the males go out and they eat. And so they take turns, and the whole community participates in this because everybody understands this is a community process. And
Yes.
so it's because everybody in the community is doing this. You don't have males that are out, you know, procreating out of season and everything. And he says to create a child is God's plan to be fruitful and multiply. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You have men saying, "Oh, you got pregnant, you're gonna have to get an abortion." What were you participating in the act of procreation for if you didn't want to procreate? He says, "My parents together for 75 silver award. I saw it happen. I want that as well." And that's what
75 years.
They stay.
I would love it.
Beginning, what is your purpose for being together? It is
to
family and generations and generations and generations.
That is awesome.
When we create brokenness, then we create children who don't know what it looks like. They don't know what longevity looks like. They don't know what an inheritance looks like, because people fought and fought over all the stuff and lost everything to the lawyers because they couldn't even agree on how to divide this stuff. So we end up broke generation after generation because we don't know how to create a family.
Wow.
So it has to be relearned. And the only way we can relearn it is to realize that we don't know it.
And you know what? It's really time. And you know what, Naima, I'm gonna actually plan for that too. I really want to do a breakdown of what we should do from the beginning to the end. Because there are a lot of things that needs to be in position, whereas of knowing how to come into a marriage, a relationship, how to be able to make that selection. What is our roles? You know, and the word tells us what our roles is as a wife, what the role is as a husband. But one of the things that even when you talked about the wolf pack, one of the things that we need to know and understand is when we come together, we're no longer two, we're one. That's what the word says. So, so we need to be like-minded, and we need to know and understand how things are to be done. And it's not so much, oh, this is your job, this is my job. It's what we need to do. Like you said, the wolf pack. Hey, if the mama had to go out and do something, daddy had the babies, and then vice versa. And when we look at it and we take that type of mindset, we shift and we do things so differently, so differently.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is knowing that from the time you're born, you need to be being taught what your role is as an adult. You're being groomed to be the adult that you're going to be because you're part of a community. And in watching all of these communities, and now if our creator gave guidance to every species on the planet, as you said, we got guidance. Why aren't we following our guidance?
Hey, if he made sure they eat, and he said if he made sure that they eat, he made sure they had understanding. Why shouldn't we have? He provides for us too, right?
Yes, but we have the free will to either ignore the guidance and make mistakes, mess up, make bad decisions, or follow the guidance, and then we can have all the abundance, all the joy, all the love that we want to receive if we simply follow the guidance. And it's so simple. And yet, like you pointed out, people are doing things based on, and our commenter, Kufi, that we do things for selfish reasons. Selfishly, you want pleasure from somebody. You don't care what the outcome is. You just want that moment. You don't care emotionally, physically, mentally, how you're affecting that other person, or you just want what they got. Well, I just need somebody to pay my rent. I don't care about what I produced with this person, or how my child's going to feel about not ever seeing their father because we fell out.
OMG.
Anyway, and I saw so much pain in the children because their parents had not stayed together, like brother said, 75 years. Well, we have generations of children. They don't even know what it means. I had a group of seventh grade boys. One time sixth grade boys. They had done something that I was mad. I made them stay in for recess. I said, okay, you're gonna write an essay. Think about what kind of man you're gonna be. I want you to give me a page on what it means to be a good man. And they sat there stumped, like, wow, what is that? And they couldn't think of what to say. 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Nobody had read a single sentence on the page. I said, okay, well, let's think about that. Okay, don't try to do a page. Just give me a paragraph. What does it mean to be a good man?
Oh, wow.
Another 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Still nobody had even one sentence on the page. I'm like, a good man. Okay, come on, think. Oh, let's talk about it. Okay, think about some things. What do you see as a good man? What qualities does he have? They thought another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. Finally, one raised his hand. A good man pays his child support on time.
Wow.
What? That's the best you got? And
wow.
I realized
there's so much to be done, because that's all that is being put. Pay child support. So we know what mama be talking about then, right?
There you go. So
you better pay that child support.
So if we have these families and we mad at the father and we talk about how he ain't paying his child support and he don't come around and take care of children, they don't know what a partnership looks like, because we didn't plan to have this family. We didn't plan to have a household. We didn't plan to live together in peace and harmony and raise children. We didn't plan none of that. All we did was we had a sexual intimacy and we had some babies, and then we had a fight and he went and got somebody else and we talking about getting somebody else, and the children seeing us talk about each other, and all they know is, well, at least he paid his child support on time.
At least he paid his child. That, you know what, to even think that little about our men is, and I'm an advocate and I push for the guys. I really do, because there's a lot of things that I see. I see the manipulation, I see the deceit, and I see how some cry wolf, you know what I'm saying, and play victim. I see that, and it's sad. So I definitely got it. We got to bring a couple of people on. We got to talk about that, because
I mean, you know, like he said here, he talks about being celibate. Look, take responsibility for what you allow your body to do. If you are a man, and I appreciate those men who finally get it. Oh, yeah, I have the power to choose when I'm going to be sexually intimate. I don't have to follow up after every short skirt that I see that is right. It's my choice. That's what manhood means. It's mastery over your own self, mastery over your mind, mastery over your body.
And nowadays, you better be careful.
Yeah.
You don't know what you get nowadays.
You can't be mad if you end up with something painful because you weren't
something scary.
What is my purpose for this female? What is my purpose for this union? What is my purpose for this intimate act? If you don't have a purpose other than that moment of pleasure, then you have not evolved. And that's why that zebra daddy, when he sees this young zebra buck ain't ready to really be responsible, get on out of here. No, you're not standing up around my daughter, because you're not ready.
That's right. I know that's right.
The father in the house does. He makes sure that no one comes near his daughter until they have proved themselves worthy of responsible fatherhood.
Yeah. That's very important. And man, we could go on and on with this topic, but time is drawing near. This is Mercy Seat. I am YuNiYAH, the host for this show. I really, truly thank you, Naima, for just staying with me, but you kind of struck a chord there, and it was like, we can't just end this. This really has to go on. So I know the title of this show says one thing, but we went another direction. Somebody just said something. Y'all gotta excuse me. I gotta put my glass. It went away. I can't see it. Somebody said something.
I said something about child support. I think he said I never paid child support because I was a giver day one. I'm blessed because of it. Yes. So I mean,
but there's men that are givers and women still put them on child support. So because they feel like you ain't giving enough. You know, it's like, I don't know what it is, but it's sad. But we got to do this again, Naima. We got to do this again. I'll probably have somebody else to come on, and we got to do it, because what I want to do is do an outline. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, this is Mercy Seat. I am YuNiYAH E, and I am so pleased and honored to be able to see you all every Monday, every second and fourth Monday right here. Go to thefemalesolution.com and see all of the many other hosts that are here. Who do we have coming on in the morning, Naima?
And today is Monday, so tomorrow is Tuesday. We will,
which is Asada.
Asada with, and of course, Gathering of the Griots. So you want to make sure you tune on in at 7 a.m. to see your host Asada. And for those people who, again, if you miss an episode, go to thefemalesolution.com. And if you want the Female Solution book, you just go to the femalesolution.com. It's all there under my photo, my website. So,
and make sure you get the book. Get the Female Solution book. Read that book. I love how take real life situations, compared them, and brought them together in regards to the animals. And I that's just so phenomenal. And so we're going to go ahead on. I need you all to make sure that you all do follow up, because we go on and on about this conversation. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. Really appreciate it. And you all have an awesome, phenomenal night. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Peace out. Love you guys. Later.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.